Through the years, emotion, drama, and ecstasy have characterized IHSA championships. Today, the drama continues. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our coverage of the IHSA State Football Championships. We'll be carrying all 6 championship battles, beginning with the 1A championship. We'll end our high school football coverage tomorrow afternoon with the 6A title game. And we welcome everyone to our Sports Channel Report studios. I'm Steve Cashel. So for the next 2 days, keep it right here. First up, the IHSA Class 1A Football Championship. And we're going to go up to Normal, where Mike Liederman and Jack McInerney are standing by to call the 1A game. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Steve Cashy. You're looking at the wonderful, wonderful environment here at Hancock Stadium on the campus of Illinois State University. Well, that rainstorm suddenly turned into snow, ice, sleet, freezing rain. Even the postman will have a tough time today. This is Mike Liederman along with Jack McInerney, and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We hope you're nice and toasty where you are. It is a beautiful day in this neighborhood, to paraphrase Mr. Rogers. It really is. Just a little snow and ice, and I think we're having Christy Yamaguchi at halftime.
I'll tell you, this is going to be a real interesting ball game, a real test of wills, and more so a test of spikes.
Yeah, that's the truth. Footwear is the big issue here. We'll talk more about that later. The defending champion, Hardin Calhoun High School, against the Comets of Sterling Newman. Neither team passes the ball a heck of a lot, so how will they be affected?
Well, it's obvious they don't by their stats, and it's certainly a fact that they won't today anyway. It's going to be a game of running backs. Fullback, tailback, fullback oriented game, but basically the linemen, can they get off the ball? Do they have enough traction to create any kind of holes for the real good running backs they have?
And they've got a couple of real good running backs. Nate Lorton for Hardin Calhoun. He's a veteran of this game, although not these conditions.
Well, you know, it's interesting. They both these teams have won state championships in the 90s, and both of them have veteran running backs. Lorton is one of the better running backs with over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. He'll be the go-to guy today.
Sterling Newman, no slouch on offense either. They've got a running back by the name of David Miller. He goes at 200, but Jack, you think he's bigger than that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I saw him inside in the field house, and if he's not 220, I'm 150. But that kind of weight will keep him good traction today, and he's going to be running the ball an awful lot.
All right, get the eggnog, get the cider, get the ice skates. We will now go over to our man on the sidelines who's got his electric socks on. Here's Joe Passion.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. One of the things down here on the field, of course, to talk about are the conditions, and it is ironic that Hardin Calhoun, a defending state champion here, had to battle the weather conditions of the Mississippi River Valley earlier, and now today they've got to take on Mother Nature in a much colder sense. Before we talk more about the game and the weather conditions, let's take it out to the PA announcer and introduce you to the players of this Class 1A championship football game.
At left tackle, number 78. Craig Robine. At left guard, number 75, Brad Rose. At center, number 52, Wayne Ballman. At right guard, number 72, Aaron Elmore. At right tackle, number 74, Tim Isringhausen. At right end, number 4, Terry Don Smith. At quarterback, number 11, Casey Longnecker. Halfback, number 1, Tony Friedel. At halfback, number 35, Pat Friedel. And at halfback, number 3, Nate Lorton. Hardin Calhoun head coach, Rick Johns. Assistant coach, Jim Holstein. The starting defense for Sterling Newman Central Catholic. At left end, number 84, Dan McHugh. At left tackle, number 77, Mike Miller. At right tackle, number 51, Matt Hoffmiller. At right end, number 66, Ed Stump. Nose guard, number 41, Brody Rude. Linebacker, number 44, David Miller. At linebacker, number 60, Chris Heminger. Defensive back, number 33, Matt McDonald. At defensive back, number 1, Casey Thome. And a defensive back, number 81, Justin Kapp. At safety, number 21, Kyle Ackman. And the Sterling Newman head coach, Mike Piposi.
There are your starting lineups. The Sterling Newman Comets grouped around their coach, Mike Piposi. Let's go back down to Joe Passion.
All right, thanks again, Mike. And one player that Newman will be missing here in this game is their junior tight end, number 80, Matt Swooling. He had an auto accident on Wednesday afternoon on their way to practice and lacerated a kidney, so he'll not be in this game, and in fact did not travel with the team due to the seriousness of his condition. He's out of the hospital, though, and feeling a lot better, probably watching the game here today. Now, the weather conditions, of course, playing a major factor today for all the teams that will be playing. We're looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 20s with northerly winds at about 15, 20 miles an hour. And, of course, they had tow trucks as well as scrapers out here scraping the field right up prior to kickoff. And both teams did practice on turf fields earlier this week. They're all wearing turf toes. And one thing that I know that Mac and Mike will talk more about, once the game gets underway, this is going to be a running game in between the tackles rather than getting outside on this crown field. Now, how did they get here? Well, both teams know how to get here. They've been here before. Let's first take a look at the road to normal for the visiting team. And for the defending state champion Warriors of Hardin Calhoun, knocking off some great teams. And let's get back upstairs to the booth for our opening kickoff of this 1A championship game.
Jeff Garland kicks off for Sterling Newman. It is coming up short. Taken by Hardin Calhoun. And Hardin Calhoun will get the ball.
And we're off.
Talk about a quick fix. A 73-yard return. Ryan Becker, who started in this game last year as a sophomore. He's back as a junior. Wasn't going to start, but there he is on the kickoff return. And Jackie talked about an early play making a difference. He didn't seem to have a problem with traction there.
Well, you notice he made no moves whatsoever. He just went straight ahead just at the end when he had to break that tackle. Let's just see the direction he goes. Watch his shoulders. I mean, his shoulders are goal line to goal line. Right there is the only time he has to slip a tackle. Notice everybody else is almost at half speed because they're afraid of falling down. This is an impact play, obviously early, but for the mere fact that we're going to have trouble to find anybody else going to be able to score.
The only player with a shot at him was the kicker, Jeff Garland. And now Terry Don Smith, the left-footed kicker, will try the extra point. And no good. Smith was practicing earlier, obviously had a problem then. He's got a problem now, so they'll come back up the field 6-0 for Hardin Calhoun, Jack.
Just a note on that, they did change the goalpost back. Of course, we're at Illinois State University where they play the narrower goalpost this year with college football. But prior to the game, they removed the post and put in the high school posts, which are 23 feet apart. So that wasn't a factor in that extra point. We do have the regulation high school goalposts.
Well, Smith will kick off for Hardin Calhoun. Mike Bellini, the deep man, along with Ryan Velasquez. There is a look at Rick Johns, the defending champion Hardin Calhoun Warriors, off on the right foot for them. And Smith will kick it off to Velasquez, number 13, a sophomore. As you look at Terry Don Smith. And that is Bellini at the top. Velasquez at the bottom. And again, his kick is coming up short. This is Bellini. Ooh! And what a stick. He took it at about the 18, gets close to the 30-yard line, and after a 12-yard return, the Comets, who their coach hopes are not shell-shocked by that kickoff, will take over. Taking a look at the starting offense, Fitzgerald, David Miller, the Haas at the fullback. Matt McDonald had some injury problems, but he's in there. Grennan, Casey Thome, and Kyle Ackman, the receivers. Both teams use the wishbone more conventionally here at Sterling Newman. And the first give is to the fullback. Now check it, it's McConnell, and Mike McConnell is stacked up by Craig Robine, number 78. And across that front line, Miller, Stump, Bishop, Hoffmiller, the only junior, and Sean Burge.
Interesting part of this is going to be that white coat you see there is not fluffy snow. That is actually ice. And keep an eye on the linemen, both the offense and defensive linemen, and see how much traction or movement they get coming off the ball. Going to be a major factor in the ball game today. Could be for the rest of the day with all the football games unless this thaws out. Watch their feet, watch their traction. Right there, that is ice. That's not powdery snow. That's ice. And it's going to be interesting to see how they can get off the ball.
Well, they give them a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. And this again is Matt McDonald. And McDonald gets the ball out to about the 30-yard line. And take a look at the defense. Brad Rose, Craig Robine, he's the Haas for Hardin Calhoun. He's an underclassman, just a junior. Elmore Ballman, Brian Barrymore, Tony Friedel, and Nate Lorton. So from the 30, 3rd down and about 8. And right up the middle, this is Miller, the fullback, and he will be well short of the 1st down. Brought down by Tony Friedel along with Aaron Elmore. And very quickly, it's 3 and out for Sterling Newman. And we're going to talk about shoes because the backs are wearing tennis shoes or no tread.
Notice the amount of people standing around. It's like waiting for the train downtown. Nobody's moving. They can't get any traction. Watch right now. I think they're going to go for the punt. It's a short punt, goal line situation. Let's see what happens. He gets it off. Good punt. Great punt.
Garland with the kick, and it's going way back. And looking for Stelbrink to pick it up. And here comes Dusty Stelbrink. Flag goes down. Stelbrink gets the ball out close to the 30-yard line. An outstanding punt by the Meteors. 47-yard punt with a 10-yard return, and Jeff Garland got a lot of foot into that one.
You can see right here how they're slipping and sliding. They're trying to keep traction. Very difficult. There's the push right there as they go skating down the sideline. That's where we got the flag and the clip.
So now Hardin Calhoun will go back to work once we get the and they're going to go back to work from deeper in their own territory. The officials, the umpire Richard Bartlett from Quincy heading this 5-person crew. Well, John Northwine, Ron Rush, Richard Bartlett, Richard Thompson, Ron Fritz. With the referee being Orthworth.
On a receiving team on a run back, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Field position is going to be so important in a game like this, and of course, having that early score, Rick Johns is breathing a little easier, but coming out in these conditions, this is tough. The field position a day like today is crucial.
Ryan Becker, 73-yard return of the opening kickoff, got his team up 6-0. Hardin Calhoun with the ball. And they go with their flex wishbone right here, and they give first of the game to Tony Friedel. And Friedel brought down by Casey Thome as Tony Friedel, the fullback, at 6'1", 215. Again, straight ahead, Jack.
Well, we'll just take a look at, watch the line play. That's what's crucial. But here they're down blocking. You can see right there, he comes underneath the tackle. The offensive tackle just down blocked. It was a double team. Friedel, 215 pounds. That's what you're going to need in a game like this. 5 yards a crack. And he's a guy that's done it all year for him.
Pickup of 8 out to the 21. This is the flex wishbone with the 2 halfbacks over the tackles. And before the play comes off, we get a whistle, maybe delay of game, but we will wait and see. Jack, talk a little bit about Hardin's flex wishbone variation.
Well, there's
or double slot, if you will.
Different terms for it. A double slot, reason being there's 2 split ends, and both the halfbacks are in the slot between the split end and just off and outside the tackles, and the fullback, of course, is in the normal position. They run either one of those backs back in motion. They become the tailback or the pitch man on the option, but it also gives them 4 immediate receivers if they were a throwing team. It stretches, yeah, emphasis on if.
Right.
They stretch out the defense here in the secondary by that formation, but today's a situation where it's a fullback's game.
An encroachment penalty gives Hardin Calhoun a first down on their own 26. Quarterback is Longnecker. Casey Longnecker again gives it straight away to the fullback, Tony Friedel. And Friedel doesn't get much right there. Matt Hoffmiller along with Mike Miller in on the stop for the Comets. And we'll check the starting offense for you for Hardin Calhoun. Longnecker is the quarterback. He backed up last year. He is a senior. Tony Friedel, Pat Friedel, they are cousins. And Nate Lorton, whose brother quarterback last year's championship team. Dusty Stolberg, Terry Don Smith are the 2 ends. They don't catch the ball much. Hardin Calhoun's only completed 11 passes all season long. Again, straight up the middle, and we get a loose ball. We also get a flag. And Sterling Newman says they have the ball, but John Ortworth has got something to say first.
I thought they ruled that he was down when he fumbled. A little discussion out here.
They're talking to Mike Miller, number 77, one of the co-captains for Sterling Newman. That was a 2nd and 8 play. 7:42 to go here in the first quarter, and let's check on the call.
See right here, it's a quarterback sneak.
On the offense, still 2nd down, 5 yards.
Call a 5-yard penalty. I believe it was an illegal shift. They send the back in motion on the wishbone, and they call that 5-yard penalty. You see, you take a look at the Sterling Newman players, much like racehorses pawing at the turf, trying to get some kind of traction. They not only plowed the field, then they spread, I think it was nitrogen on it, some form of fertilizer, try to loosen it up, but that is just an absolute slick sheet. 2nd and 13 now.
Maybe they're trying to get the turf to grow.
And there's a double pitch.
Oh,
with Friedel.
Gone. If he can figure out where the sideline is, he's gone.
This is Pat Friedel. And Pat Friedel, 67 yards.
Oh, we got a flag.
But there's a flag down, Jack, at the 15-yard line. Maybe a clip right at the last breakaway there, but Pat Friedel, 67 yards.
I hope that's not a clip, because that will be one of the poor judgment plays. No, it's going to be against Calhoun.
The officials obviously have
might be defensive clipping.
Protect themselves from the elements. You can see they're all wearing the masks and the ear flaps. It is in the mid-20s right now with about a 12-mile-an-hour wind coming right in their face.
No flag on that play.
Okay, no
Touchdown.
flag on the play, and it's a touchdown again. Another long gainer, 77-yard play. And we'll see it again.
Key to this is he got traction outside. Great job by the quarterback, but here's the key coming to the bottom of your screen right there, that block. He gets in the seam. Notice he's not doing a lot of cutting. Now it's a matter of if he can stay on the sideline. He's sliding downhill somewhat. There's a tremendous crown on this field, and once you get outside the hash marks, it's like downhill skiing.
Well, Pat Friedel doesn't have breakaway speed, but he didn't really need it. Now they're going to go for 2 over at Hardin Calhoun. Nate Lorton goes in motion, and they pitch it to Nate Lorton. And Lorton is, what's the call? No, he is stopped short. An excellent play by Casey Thome coming up from the cornerback position, upending Nate Lorton just as it appeared that he would have that 2-point conversion. So Hardin Calhoun, meanwhile, with 2 big touchdowns on long gainers, a kickoff return and a 77-yard run, is now leading 12-0, 7:14 to go, only the first quarter. 12-0 Hardin Calhoun. Terry Don Smith set to kick off to Bellini and Velasquez. This will be Bellini taking it about his 15. And Mike Bellini gets Sterling Newman a little better field position, just short of the 30. He is brought down by Wayne Ballman, one of the linemen, number 52. And now, before the offense starts for Sterling Newman, let's take a look at the block on that 77-yard play.
Well, coaches always tell the people downfield, don't look back, which he is right here. But the thing is that the official will always tell you what's going on, because if you don't hear the whistle, that means it's a long run. Great block downfield here. He gets the defender on his heels, makes it tougher for him to react.
That was Nate Lorton who threw the block. Here coming up very quickly to put the stop on Tom Grennan for Hardin Calhoun. It looked like Ballman again, along with Tony Friedel. Not to belabor the point, but Sterling Newman is wearing a treadless shoe, like a tennis shoe, a high tennis shoe, both the line people and the backs. Calhoun is wearing that 360-degree short cleat, and they thought, at least a couple of people we talked with who are in the sporting goods business seemed to think that would be a little better on this ice field. Miller, the fullback, and he is driven back after a gain of about 1. David Miller trying to get up ahead of steam. Brian Barrymore leading a charge of Calhoun Warriors. There's the scoring drive. 5 plays, the big of that 85-77 coming on Pat Friedel's 77-yard run. And there are the shoes from Hardin. You see it, they'll pick it up. You'll see there's that circular tread, and it's only about 1/4 inch, but it does give you a little more traction, if there is such a thing as traction today. 3rd and 6. Ball's on the 33. This is Longnecker, his first passing attempt. Looking deep and completes it.
What a grab.
Completes it all the way out to Corey Escherman, number 85. 6'5" Corey Escherman made an outstanding over-the-shoulder catch, a 35-yard gain. What a play by the junior wideout.
Well, you know, when he threw that ball, he was 20 yards from that ball. He just laid it up in the air and literally ran right underneath it. Good play-action fake here, Mike.
You know, the wind is coming out of the south, so it may have blown the ball back to him, but look at this. Escherman didn't quit. Right in between 2 defenders. So we have a first down here, and this is McDonald. McDonald from the 33-yard line of Hardin Calhoun gets across the 30.
Great concentration by the Calhoun receiver right there to make that catch. That's an outstanding catch for anybody, pro or college.
There's a good look at Corey Escherman. He's one of the messengers here, although with one of the starting ends, Matt Selmy, out because of injury, as Joe mentioned. Escherman will be seeing even more playing time. Now he could probably get the keys to the city. 2nd and 5 after that gain from the 27 of Hardin Calhoun. And this is McDonald with a breaker, and Matt McDonald is gone. Hello. Matt McDonald did not play in the semifinal, badly injured his ankle, but he is back. A 27-yard jaunt over right tackle. And hold on, folks. It may be low temperatures, but we got a lot of points, Jack.
Well, a little counter play here. You can see right here, that's to get the linebackers to flow in one direction. He doesn't make any big cuts, just kind of straight ahead. Does a nice job. Matt McDonald, 5'8", 175-pound senior, 784 yards on the season and 9 touchdowns.
Well, I told you those flat-soled shoes are what you need on a field like this.
You certainly did, Mike.
Here's Jeff Garland to try the point after. It's up, it's good. So, Sterling Newman is not laid down, not at all. The Comets have come back, and it is now a 12-7 game, 4:26 to go. Here's that touchdown run again, and you gotta love the blocking up front.
Watch the counter action here by the quarterback. Turns one way, and a little cutback, not a major cutback, but just kind of slides back. And Matt McDonald on his way to the end zone with the first touchdown for Sterling Newman.
Well, there's a lot of experience on both these sidelines. The 2 coaches together have 27 years of coaching experience at their respective schools, and you know they've probably seen it all. There's Mike Piposi. Mike has been 14 years at Sterling Newman. Another 5-play scoring drive, this time for the Comets. 71 yards, that big pass play to Corey Escherman, and the touchdown run by Matt McDonald. Now, watch how they put the ball on the tee right here. They're going to put it on sideways. They call this their tornado kick. Very difficult to handle. If the hands team isn't in there, they better get hands real quick. coming up short. Nate Lorton is right there. And a good play by Rick Johns to have one of his handsmen right in that middle area. Nate Lorton taking the ball, and he gets it out close to midfield. So the tornado kick might have been a bit of a gale for Sterling Newman. Mike Bellini coming up to make the stop, and a good sure-handed play by Nate Lorton. 12-yard return.
Well, it's a rubber football, which sometimes in these kind of conditions can turn into a brick. But they end up with good field position on that kick. They're hoping that they would have trouble handling it, but he does a nice job and gives them real good field position.
From the 45-yard line, their own 45, Hardin Calhoun again in the flex wishbone or double slot. In motion is Nate Lorton, and they counter it. Flag goes down, and this again is Pat Friedel picking and choosing his way up across midfield, but we've got a flag in the backfield. Maybe again another illegal shift. Justin Caffin on the stop.
Counter trap here. Watch the guard and tackle pulling. Everybody's blocking down. You can see everybody blocking down here. It's a nice football play, but unfortunately it's called back by illegal procedure. Excuse me. Yeah, we're going back. Let's get the
We
call
have an
here.
illegal shift. First down.
Now, there's a lot of motion out of that flex wishbone. They'll send the halfback from either side, and the officials calling it very tightly today, as they should.
Well, they have to be set for a count before they can go in motion if the ball is snapped. So, and a lot of it too, though, has to do with footing. Sometimes they're slipping, and this can play a role in that illegal motion.
Pat Friedel, Tony Friedel, Nate Lorton. The backfield with Nate Lorton going in motion, and he is the second option right here. And Lorton almost breaking that one, and Nate gets about half of that 15 yards he needs. Brian Davis, the safety, or check it, they call him the monster back. He has both the linebacker and defensive secondary responsibilities, coming up to make the stop. Gain of 8 yards, so that'll be a second down and 7. That's a good first down play for Hardin Calhoun, with the penalty taking him 15 yards for a first. This time it's first man through, gets nothing. Tony Friedel met by the front 4, 5, 6. David Miller, Brody Rude. Rude, the nose tackle, at 5'11", 175. Matt Hoffmiller, a junior, at 240. He's 6 feet, so Tony Friedel knew he was hit right there.
Well, they tried to run a trap in the middle, but he was not able to cut back. Let's watch right here. Watch the trap right there, 75. But see, he can't cut back to get back behind it. Just the traction is the key part of that element of that.
Gain on the play, 3rd and 7. And this time it's the pitch to Lorton. Lorton's got, if he could beat Thome, and Thome makes the saving tackle right there. Still a first down for Hardin Calhoun. Casey Thome making a big play there, because if Lorton turns that corner, it's another 15 yards, maybe a touchdown.
Well, it was a nice play, but when you're going downhill, you can see right here they froze the defensive end, and the corner came in too tight, didn't have the angle. But with the speed he's got right now, there's no way that normal day he could get up the sideline there, but this kind of a day, there's no way he could cut back.
Into Newman territory at the 44, 1st and 10 for Hardin Calhoun. And again the pitch to Lorton, and again they try the left side, and again Casey Thome comes up to make the stop, this time after a gain of about 5 yards. One thing, Jack, you notice here is the confidence that Rick Johns has got at his quarterback and his halfback. They're pitching the ball. They're not afraid of slipping, and that could be confidence. It could be a little bit of folly. We'll see later.
Well, what's interesting is when you play against an option team, the defense has great responsibility to take. Each person has a person they have to take. Somebody's got to take the pitch, somebody on the quarterback and the fullback. And in a day like this, that whoever has the pitch man slips and falls, and they get it to the pitch man, they got a big play. So it works both ways.
Official timeout here. Matt McDonald apparently has some uniform problem or equipment problem.
The new
and it
blood
looks like,
rule,
yeah, he is bleeding, so they've got to take him out. You can see that.
He has to come out for at least one play till the bleeding is stopped. That's a new high school rule this year. He's able to go back into the ball game after that blood has stopped and been wiped off.
Brian Davis replaces him. Again, the first man through. And breaking away is Tony Friedel. Friedel is gone. This will be a 40-yard touchdown run.
Big fullback.
Well, his cousin got one, so Tony wanted one too, and it didn't take him long. We still have 2:37 to go here in the first quarter, and it's 18-7, Hardin Calhoun.
Well, once he got past the linebackers, it was very difficult for anybody else to come in here. You can see right here, they blocked down, walled it off. Big, strong fullback, 215 pounds. And he's got good speed. I don't know if he's looking for help there or waving him on or whatever, but a 40-yard touchdown run for Tony Friedel.
And again, Hardin Calhoun will try for two. The exchange, a bad one between the center ballman and the quarterback. The ball goes into the end zone, and it is recovered by Lorton. Okay, you know you didn't diagram that one. Even Al Davis wouldn't diagram that one. But Nate Lorton comes up with the two-point conversion. Not the way Rick Johns wrote it down, but 2 points nonetheless.
Well, all looks the same on the scoreboard if you don't have instant replay, so 2 points is 2 points. Kind of an interesting way to get it. But there's going to be a lot of interesting things happening today.
20-7 now, Hardin Calhoun, and we're still 2:37 to go in the first quarter. There's a bad exchange between the center, and you'll see it from the end zone. Oh, this is the touchdown play.
Right here you can see nice down block, lead back, the lead back. Here comes the halfback blocking down on the linebacker. A nice running lane. And Tony Friedel has a 40-yard touchdown run. 6'1", 215 pounds. 207 carries this year, 1,400 yards, 17 touchdowns.
Give Brad Rose credit for a good block right there on the line. This is Bellini, takes it back on his own 5-yard line. Tries to get up ahead of steam. And Bellini comes out to about the 20-yard line, once again met by a swarm of Hardin Calhoun Warriors. Good return for Mike Bellini, 15-yard return.
He looked like me this morning trying to get out of my driveway. Watch him trying to get traction here. I couldn't get uphill either. Here he goes. Now he's got gym shoes on. Now he hits the dry surface there, but it's tough to get traction down there on that ice.
Clock running with 2:19. Brian Davis coming in, last-minute substitution here, brings in a play from Mike Piposi. Pat Fitzgerald under center. And this is Miller, the fullback, and Miller whacking people. David Miller just decimated. It looked like one of the defensive backs up there.
Here's the wishbone look. Big splits by the offensive line. Just going off tackle, and he bounces it outside. And right here, he's just using his 200 pounds to run people over. And this is a game of fullbacks. You must establish those fullbacks inside.
Dusty Stelbrink saw a few stars there. Gain of 6. And out to the 30, close to the first down. Has to get just this side of the 30. Number 31, Tom Grennan, as we look at the Hardin Calhoun scoring drive. Again, these 5-play drives get pretty popular. Only 1:49 on the clock with Tony Friedel's 40-yard run.
I think what we're going to see, something interesting here, the traction is very difficult for the offense and defensive linemen. So, for example, let's watch the size of the splits for Newman and their offensive line. The guards are taking about 3-foot splits in the tackles, and what they're doing is they're stretching out the defense, which makes it obviously easier. You're creating a hole just by alignment before you ever snap the ball.
Well, one chain link short of a first down. So here's a free one for Sterling Newman, and this might not be a bad time to go once again to Corey Escherman. Use that 6'5" up against the shorter defensive backs, and here he comes in.
Well, it probably would be a scenario on a normal day, but I think they want to get out of this and get better field position here. So I think we might see the fullback or quarterback sneak.
McDonald, Miller, and Grennan in the wishbone. Miller in motion, and you called it, Jack. Pat Fitzgerald, the quarterback, gets the yard. Aaron Elmore, 6'1", 235, a senior, making the stop for Hardin Calhoun. And we have 1st and 10. Nothing fancy.
You see, just since there was a man on the center, he just went in the A gap or the seam between the center and the guard to pick up that first down. Interesting that they put the fullback in motion on that. In a situation like that, you got a yard, the fullback goes in motion, somebody jumps offside, you got a free first down. Interesting call.
Tony Friedel making the stop. First down, ball on the 32 for Sterling Newman. 45 seconds to go here in the first quarter. And almost breaking free is McDonald. Matt McDonald. Wayne Ballman meets him. But another good gain by Matt McDonald. Again, the yard markers are all but obliterated on the field. It is about the 37-yard line. Gain of 5 for Matt McDonald. Doesn't look like he's playing on a bad ankle, but he sure is.
You wouldn't have known it off his touchdown run.
Escherman splits out to the right, and they break the wishbone now into a more of a power eye look, and they give it to the fullback. And David Miller needed about 5, and he'll be short. Well, they're going to call for a measurement as the first quarter ends. They're going to measure, and they'll do that. But first, we will take a break. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: Hardin Calhoun 20, Sterling Newman 7. Well, 27 points on an icy field in 1 quarter, Jack. Little different from...
Who would have thought?
Yeah. All right, Sterling Newman now 3 yards short of a first down with a 3rd and 3. And they give it to the second man through. This is McDonald, and McDonald gets first down yardage, brings the ball across the 40 to the 44. Nate Lorton, Tim Jerson, number 87, making the stop.
Well, they're trying to draw everybody in on the fullback, as you can see right there, and then they give it to the second man through, and they're blocking down. And a nice job by Matt McDonald picking up the first down.
See the time of possession very much in Hardin Calhoun's favor, as is the score. 1st and 10 here from the 44, their own 44. Sterling Newman, short gainer. Craig Robine stopping Matt McDonald. You know, it's interesting, Jack. I thought they'd be leaning on the fullback more, but they're going to McDonald.
Well, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get those linebackers confused a little bit. I mean, if they keep going with the fullback between the tackles, linebackers have a straight shot at them. So they're doing a little counter, which really is not a bad play in these conditions.
Second and 8, and here comes McDonald again. And we get a flag here over at the sideline. Maybe a little overzealous hitting on the part of Hardin Calhoun.
Like a face mask, possibly.
Brad Rose was in there. Pat Friedel, number 35. And let's see what the call is. They're explaining it to Nate Lorton over there. And it will be going against the Warriors. Let's take a look.
Second man through, they give it a fullback fake, give it to the second back with the lead back right there. And right there,
Brad Rose got him.
It's more of the shot across the face here, combination of the two, but it's a big 15-yard penalty.
There's nothing similar to the pro rule of intent or whatever. In high school, it's 15 big ones. Of course, the pros can hit you with a 5-yard face mask or a 15-yard. 1st and 10 now. The ball on the Hardin Calhoun 38. And the quarterback losing possession, but gets it over to McDonald. Again, that play could have been disastrous, as the quarterback in the wishbone has the option of pulling the ball out of the stomach of the player he hands it to, and it almost became a disaster for Newman.
Well, and the fact that they ran it to the short side of the field. He's coming to the short side of the field right now, which means he doesn't have a lot of room to re-grip. You can see right here he's got trouble, and they're right on him, and he's running the short side of the field. He's very fortunate that he was able to get that ball away.
Loss of 2 make it 2nd and 12. Ball resting right on the 40. Now the one-back backfield here, and this is Miller. And Miller gets close to first down yardage, crossing the 30-yard line. Jerson, number 87, stopping David Miller, knocking him out of bounds. And it is first down and 10 for Newman High School.
It's a quick pitch to the weak side. You can see he just gets it out there. The tackle pulls, they block down, the tackle comes around, picks off the linebacker, and he makes the first down by about 2 or 3 yards.
He's still going right there before Pat Friedel knocked him out. Mike Piposi watching this drive. And again, Miller right up the middle. And he gets to the 20. Nate Lorton making the stop. And now Miller starting to assert himself. David Miller, a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season.
They put their strength in the short side of the field. They gave him a trip set, which is 3 receivers to the short side, and then they ran back a little short trap back away from the strength.
There's a good look at Pat Fitzgerald, senior quarterback, 6 foot, 175 pounds. Again, he'll throw more than his counterpart, number 11, over at Hardin Calhoun Longnecker, but again, only threw 76 times, completing 32 of them. He completed a big one today on that touchdown drive to Corey Escherman. Yep, an official's timeout here. There's the clock, 10:13 to go, second quarter. All the scoring so far, of course, has been in the first. And now breaking the wishbone, coming over here is Casey Thome on the short side of the field. Split right. 2nd and 4. McDonald. And Matt McDonald loses possession. And let's see what the call is. Yes, it'll be Hardin Calhoun ball. An excellent run by Matt McDonald, breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage. But as he got to the 10-yard line, he lost possession. And Hardin Calhoun is recovered. There is Casey Longnecker, who I believe got credit for the recovery.
That's a tough play because here it comes up. He's under control. You can see good right here. He gets his shoulder into him. A good effort right here. Now you can see just as he tried to jump over and get an extra yard or two, he lost the football.
That was Pat Friedel coming up to make the hit. So now from their own 9-yard line, Hardin Calhoun has the ball. And this is Tony Friedel. Gets maybe a yard, brought down by Mike Miller. So far, Pat Friedel, number 35, 85 yards on 2 carries. McDonald, before that last carry, had 39 yards on 5 and really did an excellent job of breaking the tackles at the line of scrimmage. As you look at Pat Fitzgerald on the sidelines, and here Longnecker calling signals. Called no gain on that play. It's a 2nd and 10, and Casey will run it himself, and he will get maybe a yard or 2 before Miller, David Miller, and his brother Mike come in to make the stop. Mike and David, brothers. David the junior is the back. Mike, the big tackle at 220. Of course, David's not exactly slight either at 200. You think he's more? Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they missed too many meals.
Oh, big defensive stop possibility here for Sterling Newman with Hardin Calhoun deep in its own territory. 3rd and 7.
Counter.
Here's Nate Lorton on a play that's worked so well before, but not this time. Casey Thome on top of the pile. And this is going to be Mike Miller on the stop underneath. Watch it here, Jack.
You see the counter right now, the guard and tackle, the kick out. Nice job. Nice job defensively by Ed Stump. Yeah, which name is kind of interesting since he is 6'2", 220. But right there's your counter. He just stuffs the play, number 66. And good hustle by Mike Miller coming from the backside.
And the snap over Longnecker's head is going to go out of the end zone, an automatic safety. And again, Sterling Newman, with help from Hardin Calhoun, making a positive out of a negative after the fumble by McDonald, getting a safety, and of course they'll get the ball back with Hardin Calhoun having to punt or kick the ball, presumably punt it into the wind.
It's a tough situation, special teams right here. You can see that ball just sails on him, and the punter doesn't have a chance. Pat Fitzgerald doesn't have a chance to get that ball.
So the safety makes the score 20-9 with 8:08 left here in the second quarter. And now Hardin Calhoun will have to kick the ball away from its own 20-yard line. And Terry Don Smith is out there, so I guess we're going to have this thing off a tee. Here's Rick Johns explaining to his players, coaching, talking, not getting excited.
They're trying.
One thing about Rick, they do not get excited over there with all the problems they've had in Hardin Calhoun with the floods and all the loss of homes and property. They don't get excited about a safety. And there's Mike Piposi, his team now trailing, but 20-9. Here's Terry Don Smith.
Good kick.
Booms this one to Vasquez, and Vasquez loses his footing, and this one's going to carry back near the 10-yard line. Ryan Vasquez, the sophomore, trying to tap dance his way through, gets across the 20. And boy, was that an escapade.
That was a great kick. Really got them out of the hole, kicking from the 20. Great camera shot here, and you can see he doesn't stand a chance at getting that ball.
He's got to pick it up, though.
Oh, yeah, it's alive. Yes, it's.
He gets an 8-yard return out of it. Our director, Bobby Albrecht, has kind of reminded us that this reminds us of the beer commercials where they're combining sports, in this case, football and ice hockey. Right now, Sterling Newman with the ball on its own 17. Longnecker gives it to David Miller, and Miller is still fighting his way close to the 20. Well, if it's not ice hockey and football, it may be full contact figure skating. I tell you, Bob, as a commentator, is great in the truck, isn't he?
I'll tell you, he keeps me
on our toes,
on our skates.
Well, no gain on that play, so it will be 2nd and 10. Again, we get an official timeout here. Brad Rose going off to the Hardin Calhoun side. He's replaced by Mike Eilerman. Again, maybe an equipment problem. Single backfield. Tripp set out to the right. Triple receivers right. And again, problems on the snap. Looks to be recovery by Sterling Newman, but that ball popped out of there. Pat Fitzgerald falling on the right there. Whoop.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't see how that it came up that way, but it did.
Now, a critical situation for Sterling Newman with a 3rd and 12. They are going into the wind, which is coming in their face about 12 miles an hour. From their own 15-yard line. Receivers right and left. Looking for Ackman, and Ackman somehow makes the catch as the duck floated to him, but Kyle Ackman, stopped by Tim Jerson and Tony Friedel. Kyle Ackman, the leading receiver on this team, gets the 16 yards, and that's enough for a 1st down.
Now, I don't know if this is an indication why they haven't passed this much this year, but, you know, this is just whoever is still left standing by the time the ball gets there.
May have fair caught that one between the rock-hard ball, the slippery surface. And again, they come out with 3 receivers to the right. Casey Thome closest to you, and the pitch goes to Miller, the only setback. And David Miller met there by Pat Friedel before he could get around the corner. Sterling Newman moving the ball now.
The blocking scheme on that quick pitch is really there. They just are having a heck of a lot of trouble with the traction. And, you know, I'm not trying to be funny by saying this, but this field is crowned between the hashes. You start going from the hash and down to the sidelines, it's tough to turn and try and cut up.
Quarterbacks who haven't played on turf throwing from the crown, they're 3 feet over the guy on the sidelines. Of course, that won't be a problem today. And here's stacked up big time by Craig Rovine. And we get a little discussion over here, quickly broken up by the officials. Rovine, number 78, biggest man on the field at 6'5" and 230 for Hardin Calhoun. Well, Joe Passion has been, we hope, staying warm on the sidelines. Let's check in with him. Joe, what you got?
Well, actually, the weather down here really isn't that bad. The wind has cut down a little bit. But to give you a clear indication just how thick the ice is down here in the field, now I'm chopping through this, and it's about a ½ inch thick of ice. And this is what the players are putting up with, trying to get through all this and still try and find their footing, which amazingly they're able to do here. Back upstairs, guys.
Well, Joe, I hope you got your pocket fisherman. And again, another outstanding catch coming back to the ball. And now the ball is loose. Look out.
Marking it down,
but
though.
The officials have marked it down with McDonald making the catch. He was down. The ball squirted loose after contact. Tim Jerson in there on the play, but the ball will be down, and it will be another first down for Sterling Newman. And McDonald is shaken up now.
He's down too. Nice catch by McDonald, and I think what happens right here, he gets his ankle jammed, but they're saying the whistle blew, and they maintain possession.
Now let's take a look at that again, because the ball is skirt free, and I don't know if he was down here, Jack.
He wasn't down, but the whistle blew, Mike.
And that's the end.
And that's the end of it. Right there, you can see how he twisted his ankle again, going sideways. Well, there's no doubt he was not down, but the whistle did blow.
And that's, as the Bears found out yesterday, the key determining factor. If the whistle blows, no matter whether the play is gone to fruition or not, it is over. Again, the 3 receivers set right for Sterling Newman. 1st and 10, the ball just on their side of midfield at the Comets' 48. Fitzgerald with time, and again, this one was intercepted by Tony Friedel. Once again, the ball just goes straight up and came down, and this time a white shirt found it.
I'm just kind of surprised that they're throwing the ball in these circumstances, because even when he did throw it successfully, by successfully, I mean a completion, they were not good throws.
Yeah, he's got a 9-iron arc on this one.
And I mean, right here, the ball is just, Mike, I've seen you in the pregame, and you know, I'm a little surprised at this, because they were moving the ball.
Of course, the way they moved it was with that same kind of up in the air, down, and throw it up for grabs play.
And that's true, but they got down there. But once you're in that territory, maybe you go back to what.
That's Matt McDonald being worked on the sidelines again. He had a bad ankle coming in, and it was jammed again in that last play. So right now we're going to get a timeout here. 3 minutes 52 seconds to go. Hardin Calhoun with the ball. There's Rick Johns. We will send you back to the studio for some commercial words, and we will return to Hancock Field in a moment. Hardin Calhoun off the turnover, the interception by by Tony Friedel. The ball, the 29 lead, and it's on their own 37. 2 receivers out right, and the give once again is Tony Friedel, number 1, the fullback, and he gets to the 40-yard line, met there by Dan McHugh at 5'10", 185.
Tony Friedel's a perfect specimen to be running this kind of a play. 6'1", 215-pound junior. Plays both sides of the ball, linebacker and fullback. Tough young man. And he's a hard runner inside.
2 receivers right. Pat Friedel goes in motion. They give it to cousin Tony, and Tony Friedel is about 3 yards short of a first. Chris Heminger, number 60, in on the stop. Clock is running, approaching the 3-minute mark. Hardin Calhoun scored 20 of its points in the first quarter. Hardin Calhoun, you see, trailing in first down, but they got the big points. 2 turnovers for Sterling Newman. 3rd and 3. And they get what they want. Hardin Calhoun looking for that encroachment call, and they got it as Sterling Newman's defense went along with Pat Friedel when Pat Friedel went in motion.
A dead ball, encroachment foul on blue, 5 yards.
Well, Hardin Calhoun leading in penalties too. With that Sterling Newman encroachment gives the Hardin Calhoun Warriors a first down at the 49, their own 49. Nate Lorton goes in motion, and again, this is Tony Friedel and Matt Hoffmiller on the stop.
Well, Tony Friedel's been the workhorse all year. 207 carries, and he's certainly going to be the workhorse now. Look at the size of the splits. Creates a hole automatically. Tackle blocks down, leaves the defensive tackle unblocked, hoping to find a seam in there. Tony Friedel rams it up inside, picks up 4 yards.
Nate Lorton's only got 140 carries, but he averages 11 yards per, and we've seen him on those sweep left. And once again, they go with the fullback and the trap, and Friedel could be gone, gone, gone. 48 yards, touchdown, Hardin Calhoun.
Just an inside trap, but a great block. And once you get past the linebackers, it's happened on his other 40-yard run. He's gone. There's a perfect example of it.
Second touchdown for Tony Friedel. First one was 40. This one 48. And again, the try for 2 on the conversion from Hardin Calhoun.
Big splits again.
Longnecker, the quarterback. Options it to Nate Lorton. And this time,
got it.
Nate Lorton gets the 2 points. Casey Thome made that play earlier to stop him, frustrate him on the first 2-pointer he tried, but not that one. So Nate Lorton gets his second 2-point conversion. And it's now 28-9, Hardin Calhoun.
Watch number 72 right there. Aaron Elmore, 6'1", 235 pounds, makes the big trap block. And Tony Friedel just gets that seam, and he's off to the races for 48 yards and a big touchdown. Half of that, there's 6 points right there, but 3 of those points belong to Aaron Elmore, the right guard, on a great trap block. Again,
And here's the conversion.
just riding the fullback here, and just the pitch coming down, and he just outruns the corner. Just goes over the top. 2 points.
1:53 left to go here in the second quarter. This is the Class 1A championship. You're looking at Terry Don Smith trying to dig himself a bit of a hole, get a little bit of traction. And there's Mike Bellini, one of the deep men. 5 plays, 63 yards, a 2-minute 18-second drive culminating here. And this is a short kick taken by one of the up men. And brought out to the 30-yard line. That's Brian Davis, number 42. Let's go down to Joe Passion.
We were talking earlier about how the rubber footballs have really turned into hard cement type plastic here in these frozen tundra of Hancock Stadium. Well, Pat Fitzgerald, the quarterback here for Newman, has decided he's had enough of those floater balls that have been thrown up. So they're going to go to a Rawlings leather football, just as Hardin Calhoun has been using throughout the game. And hopefully that will help us throwing a little bit better. We'll see what happens with their offense.
We'll find out here. Doesn't look like it. And once again, it's picked off. Nate Lorton making an outstanding one-handed interception at his own 46-yard line. So take your choice, pick your poison as far as Pat Fitzgerald is concerned.
Well, you know, in defense of them, obviously they didn't get here throwing the ball, and there's not really very good traction there for him to get good footing to throw the ball. So, I mean, they're trying to get back in the ball game by throwing it, and that is not the way they got here. It's going to be tough for them.
Also throwing into 3 deep coverage there intended for Escherman, and now Hardin Calhoun with the ball on its own 48. And this time Longnecker to throw over the middle, wide open. Dusty Stelbrink, and Stelbrink
Touchdown.
beats Casey Thome, beats the last defender, and wow. 52 yards. Dusty Stelbrink over the middle. Kyle Ackman had the last shot at him. No contest.
Well, the safety got in a real compromising situation. They had an over and under route, and he got tied up taking the over, and the under's got the ball. You can see right here, just as he catches it, not a great throw, but you can see the safety about where the official is. He was covering a deeper route, and nobody was there to take him.
Well, not a bad percentage for the quarterback, Casey Longnecker. He's completed 12 passes all year, and 4 have gone for touchdowns. Again, Nate Lorton looking for the 2-point conversion. Thome meets him, but again, he got over first. So, 36-9. Hardin Calhoun, the defending champion, doing a good job of defending its championship. And that is Dusty Stelbrink, number 33, with that reception. 52 yards, 29 seconds, 1 play. Mike Piposi has got Matt McDonald right there, and looks like McDonald is going to be back in the ball game. Injured ankle or no? Look at the 3rd turnover by Sterling Newman. And that, again, leading to a score from Hardin Calhoun.
Well, it's really tough to get down point-wise this early, obviously. But to have these conditions when you really don't throw the ball that much all year long, it's really a very tough situation. And I kind of feel sorry for Pat Fitzgerald and Coach Piposi, because it's tough to come back. It's very difficult to throw the ball under these conditions.
Ball blew off the tee, so Terry Dodd Smith will reset it, and he will kick once again to a couple of busy folks back there, Mike Bellini and Ryan Vasquez. A lot of foot in this one, and Vasquez feels it inside his 10. And a good return from Ryan Vasquez. Gets the ball close to the 25-yard line with 51 seconds left to go. A 13-yard return by the sophomore. Good hands on this, Jack.
Well, you know, he's getting the ball deep. Of course, he has the wind, and it's tough for the sophomore right here when the ball is kicked that deep. They get really good coverage coming down. He gets a good hit. He's been able to handle the ball, but he's been taking a beating back there.
Well, here's Fitzgerald now with 40 seconds and counting here to go in the first half, and they will stay on the ground this time. It's McDonald, and McDonald is met by Pat Friedel and a host of other white shirts. Brian Barrymore in there. Let's go down to Joe Passion.
Well, you said before, Mike, choose your poison. Apparently, Pat Fitzgerald feels that he's going to stick with a more familiar rubber football. Pat was telling me on the sideline while he was warming up with that leather football a little while ago that they had not used that except one time prior this year. So he's going back what he likes more, and maybe it'll come back together for him. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, last play of the first half if they get it off, and they do, with Tom Glennon carrying into the line, and that is the end of the first half of play, and it has been a good one for Hardin Calhoun. The Warriors lead it by a score of 36-9. The 1A championship game right here, and Jack, the Ice Bowl is going to the Warriors big time.
Well, you know, that early kickoff return, and really the key to this game has been Tony Frieder being able to make those long runs, and he's really been tough this whole first half. It's going to be tough for Newman to come back.
That's Mike Piposi. Sterling Newman, he coached this high school team, well, not this high school team, but a Sterling Newman high school team to a championship, a 6-3 victory back in 1990. That was decided in overtime, and now we've got 45 points on the board. Let's go down to Joe Passion. He's got Hardin Calhoun's Rick Johns, head coach, with him.
Well, Rick, a little bit different, obviously, weather-wise than last year when you won the championship. How is this affecting the footing and what you may try and make some adjustments for the second half?
Well, things are working out pretty good for us right now, so we're just going to hang with what we're doing, and you know, we're just dealing with the weather, as is Sterling Newman, and it's working out for us, like I said.
Are the big plays really the part of what you may have hoped would happen with the defense going away in the grain on this slippery surface?
Well, we thought, we talked before the game, we thought if we could get people out on the corner, we'd be in good shape, because I think it'd be to the advantage of the ball carrier in a situation where he knows where he's cutting and the defense doesn't, and it's worked out real good for us.
Certainly has, Rick. Good luck in the second half. Stay healthy.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to try.
All right, bring those skates with you. And right now, a big halftime lead for the defending 1A state champions. We'll send it back upstairs to Mike Lederman and be back down here with a halftime interview about how Hardin Calhoun has overcome weather conditions far worse than this. We'll talk about that with more coming up here at the half from Hancock Stadium. Back upstairs.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. 36-9, there it is. Hardin Calhoun looking for its second state championship in as many years. And we'll be back with halftime activities in just a minute. Stay where you are.
Halftime score here, the state 1A's championship football game, 36-9 in favor of the defending Calhoun Ball Club. And you may remember last year when Calhoun won the state championship, they did it with this gentleman over here playing quarterback. JD did the job that his brother's doing out there running the football right now, and his dad Jeff was part of being here in the rallying point. But you guys have had to rally behind weather conditions far worse than what we're seeing here today. Your hog farm took a lot of damage in the Mississippi River flooding, and and Hardin Calhoun. Tell us about how that's related to the football team, what they've learned outside of overcoming Mother Nature.
Well, July 6th of this year, we started sandbagging the levees in Hardin and trying to save it. And finally, July 18th, it broke, and it wiped out all of East Hardin, which we live over on, and took our farm and a lot of our our neighbors' places, and then over in Hardin, it wiped a lot of their places out. And these kids have just did nothing but work, lift weights, and I tell you what, they did this for the community. They came this year to win for Hardin, and they did the job. They're doing the job.
Well, Jeff, congratulations for the things you guys have overcome. JD, I know you're enjoying watching this here. And again, just the whole community of the Hardin Calhoun area and along the Mississippi River Valley that have had to overcome Mother Nature's thrust on us this year. And I guess this is just a Sunday walk in the park compared to what you guys have had to overlook. Guys, glad to have you here and everyone healthy. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the halftime. But in the meantime, coming up next, we send it back to our Sports Channel Chicago studios and give you some more healthy highlights from the Bears' victory yesterday. And their Thanksgiving was hopefully as enjoyable as yours is this weekend. We'll be back with more from Hancock Stadium right after this local message.
Well, a lot of highlights to show you here. 36-9, Hardin Calhoun's Warriors trying to defend their 1A championships, doing it well. Jack, it started with the opening kickoff to Ryan Becker.
What a way to start a state championship football game. The conditions are bad enough, but to start out with a long touchdown run on the kickoff is tremendous. Just a great run, and notice he didn't change a heck of a lot of direction, just straight ahead, but he just outran everybody.
73 yards for Ryan Becker, and that was just the start of things for Hardin Calhoun. They work out of the wishbone.
Come down with the option, great pitch, but the key to this play is a downfield blocking. He gets two great ones to start off the line of scrimmage, and right now by Nate Lorton, throwing a big block right there for Pat Friedel, all the way. Long touchdown run.
12-0 here as the conversions didn't work both times. One a kick, one a two-point try. Now, Sterling Newman looked as though it was going to get back into this one. Matt McDonald injured, didn't play the semifinal, certainly playing today.
Just a little bounce cutback right here. Goes off tackle for a big touchdown and gets him back in the ball game early.
Made the score 12-7, but that was as close as Sterling Newman would get, at least for the first half. Tony Friedel tipped off 2 touchdowns, and neither one of them was just a short plunge. This is 40 yards.
This is a 40-yard run right off tackle, and he's kind of waving them on to see if they can test his speed. But there's a touchdown by Tony Friedel, 6'1", 215-pound senior.
2-point conversion made it 20-7. Here, a little scare for Hardin Calhoun. The ball going out the end zone off the snap for a safety, 20-9. Not to worry for the Warriors. Tony Friedel again.
Here he comes again, showing that speed. But more than that, just the fact that a fullback is such an important element to have in a ball game like this with these kind of conditions.
And following an interception, rare air right here as Casey Longnecker airs it out to Dusty Stelbrink.
Well, they caught him in a coverage where the safety had it taken over and under, a deep man, and they came underneath to Dusty, and he picked it off and went in for the score.
A couple of 2-point conversions, 36-9. That's where we are. And you take a look at the statistics, the Hardin Calhoun advantage is rather obvious. Just look at the rushing, look at everything except time of possession, which tells you how much or how little that means.
Well, that's really true. The key being 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, but the big plays that Hardin Calhoun has made. Sterling has controlled the ball, but then when they get deep down in territory, they lose the football.
They've passed for barely 200 yards all year, and they've already got 52 on that one big play to Dusty Stelbrink. Again, the 3 turnovers have led to 2 scores for Hardin Calhoun. The penalties not really an issue, but let's see what happens. The sun is trying to break through here, believe it or not. The lights are on. It's still a skating pond, and we will come back with second half action in just a minute. Well, both teams are back on the playing surface. We can't call it a field. We know what it is. Let's go down to Joe Passion. He's got Mike Piposi with him from Sterling Newman. Joe.
Well, actually, Mike is on his way over here, still talking to some of his players, but just to embellish on one of the stories that you guys brought up throughout that first half, one of the problems that Sterling Newman is having, of course, is the footing, as both teams are to some degree, with the ice on the field as it is. But one of the problems that Newman is facing that is not as big a problem for Hardin Calhoun is Hardin Calhoun has more of a turf spike, whereas Newman are wearing basketball shoes. Now Mike Piposi's coming over. Mike, we're talking a little bit about, first off, it looks like you got something you got to take care of, so let me run down. Again, they're playing basketball shoes, and so there's less of a pickup that they can get. How has the footing caused a problem? Have you talked about it at half, and what type of adjustments can you possibly make on it here?
Well, there's no adjustments we can make. You know, we just don't have the right shoes for this type of terrain or whatever. You know, it's just been a real battle for our kids. You know, they just seem to have better traction than us. I don't know what kind of shoes, you know, if that's making the difference or what, or they just like running on it. But it's been a real trial for us.
You've tried to use two different footballs, the leather football just for that one play and the rubber ball. What will you stick with, and how does that affect your game plan here in the second half?
Well, we'll stick with the leather. We're not going to change anything. You know, we're just going to try and come out and play a little better second half than the first, because we were completely flat. We were more concerned with the elements and playing the football game, and that shows by the scoreboard.
All right, Mike, go get them. Stay healthy.
Thanks.
Okay, you can see the adjustments that can be made really are limited by the icy tundra down here that is Hancock Stadium. 36-9 is our score here at the break. We'll send it back up to Mac and Mike.
All right, thank you, Joe. A very dejected Mike Piposi. You take a look there. These are the Hardin Calhoun. Let me just make sure. Yeah, they're the Hardin Calhoun shoes. If we can ever get, take a look there, there are cleats. Jack, you can describe them. It's a molded circular cleat arrangement that we talked about last year, as a matter of fact, at this time.
Right. They happened to get them about a week or so ago, and they practiced on a turf surface prior to coming down here, and they brought both sets of shoes. They brought this set as well as their gym shoes, and who would have known when we woke up this morning that we were going to have these kind of conditions, and fortunately for them, they had both sets of shoes with them.
Sterling Newman had different cleats, more of an ice cleat, which they did leave at home, I understand.
Right. Well, remember when George Hallis didn't forget to bring his cleats that time.
It's the famous sneakers game. That's our situation. We are in Normal, Illinois, on the campus of Illinois State University. I'm Mike Liederman, along with Jack McInerney, Lisa Copenhafer, and Dave Berkson in the booth with us.
The sun.
And the sun has made its appearance. Situation a lot better here, at least above ground, than it was at the beginning of the game, but it's still very, very cold. It is not melting the ice at all. Terry Don Smith will kick it away for Hardin Calhoun. Bellini has a problem back down on his 10, and that's it. Mike Bellini again showing you what the problem is down at the 5-yard line.
Whatever can go wrong has gone wrong so far for the Comets. Just can't get a handle. Letting the ball hit the ground on this type of turf. You can see right there he's afraid of falling down, which he does right there. Bad field position to start off with.
So Pat Fitzgerald, got to talk about an uphill battle. This is Mount Everest right here. Down 36-9 at your own 5-yard line. 2 interceptions, you see, for Pat Fitzgerald. And straight ahead for nice yardage there is McDonald. Brad Rose making the stop for Hardin Calhoun, number 75. There you see Brad.
It's kind of tough for a coach at halftime when you're in a score like this, especially when there's no tomorrow. I mean, a lot of times you can regroup and get ready the next week, get the kids out of the doldrum for another ball game, but here it's tough. So usually the scenario is let's win the second half.
Yeah. Second down, gain of 4, 6 to go. And they counter this way, going over to the left side, and they use David Miller, the fullback, and Miller will be a couple of yards short. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Just a counter back with Miller, counter step trap. And really can't get much traction here.
Brian Barrymore and Tony Friedel in there to make the stop. Slot right, breaking the wishbone, and they give it to McConnell again. And McConnell may have first down yardage here. Again, the yard markers are obliterated on the field. It is tough to tell. He had to get to the 15, and he gets to the 16, so It is 1st and 10. Casey Longnecker, Brian Barrymore on the tackle. And as you know, as a coach, Jack, you just can't get all the points at once. And I think this is a good example of what Mike Piposi is telling his kids. Get 3, 4, 5 yards at a time. There is time to do it, if not to win, then to make it respectable. Just to get here is being respectable. 1st and 10 now. And this is Miller, the fullback. And David Miller upended in there by Dusty Stelbrink, coming up from his cornerback spot. Stelbrink 150, Miller about 210.
Well, it's also the old theory of the they can, we can. If they can score 36 points in the first half, why can't we score 37 in the second half? But the field position they started out with makes it pretty difficult.
Short gain of 2. Split right. And again, they give it to McDonald, and McDonald gets nowhere, trying the left side. And there's Brian Barrymore in there, number 44. Bring up a 3rd and long.
Tony Friedel's having a good ball game, both defensively and offensively.
Well, it was Friedel who scored the only touchdown in the semifinal win for Hardin Calhoun against Arcola. That game was 7-6. David Miller, a big touchdown, and then Pat Fitzgerald put the ball game away against Monmouth Warren in their semifinal. Right now, though, the sun is shining brightly, reflecting off the ice. And here's 3rd and 8. Good-looking pass inside.
Well, he drilled that one.
Slant in. Again, close to 1st down yardage to Escherman. Or is Ackman? It's Kyle Ackman, number 21. Check it.
But this is just a 3-step drop going back on a slant route, puts it right on the money. Good for a nice 1st down here.
Boy, Ackman knew what he had to get. He's their leading receiver. 18 catches, over 400 yards. Averages 25 yards a catch. He didn't get that there, but it was important nonetheless. Ball's now out to the 26. And the drive continues 1st and 10. Escherman right, Ackman left. Regular wishbone set. They give it to the 2nd man through. This is McDonald. And McDonald wrapped up in the backfield. This time by Brad Rose and Pat Friedel. Rose, number 75, has spent a lot of time at or close to the line of scrimmage for Hardin Calhoun.
Well, by the type of defense that Calhoun is running with 4 linebackers, it's a difficult play not to be able to stop. What I mean by that is the 2 inside linebackers are able to pick up the fullback, and of course they give to the 2nd man, and there's still 2 backers out there to be able to bounce out there. So it's kind of a tough defense to run that
3 receivers right, and they go to Miller. And it is a forward pass, so it is incomplete. They set the 3 receivers to the right, put the 1 man in the backfield in motion. Well-designed play, but Miller couldn't handle the low ball.
Well, they're trying to pull a tackle. It's just a quick pass out here and getting a blocker out in front of him, but it's not a very well-thrown football. Well conceived, but not well executed.
Escherman back in, number 85, bringing in a play from Mike Piposi. Piposi, 14th year as coach. And again, 1 backfield with 3 receivers to the right on 3rd and 11. With time, it goes up again, looking for Escherman. And defended over there by number 87 for Hardin Calhoun, Tim Jerson. And it'll bring up a 4th down. And this punt is going into about a 12 to 15 mile an hour wind.
Again, going deep, and you can see right here how they're trying to get traction to get up. The ball being held up by the wind.
And again, you got a couple of problems because you're throwing off the crown down to someone who's about 3 feet lower, which is enough of an adjustment to make for these kids who really haven't played on turf. And there's a bad snap to Garland. Covered up, it looked like Brian Barrymore. And the hits just keep on coming for Hardin Calhoun. The high snap. Jeff Garland, the kicker, didn't have a chance, and Brian Barrymore was right on the spot, and we'll show it to you.
See right there, the ball just sailing on him, and the outside linebacker coming right in, right to him. I wonder if we'll see Tony Friedel again.
Well, he and Pat are in the backfield, and there is Tony right there, and he gets about 5 yards down to the 10. Matt Hoffmiller, 240-pound junior, on the stop. Of course, we're going to have football all day today and tomorrow, and all night tonight right here on Sports Channel. Hope you're enjoying this one. Tom Stocker, Bill Gorley will be here right after this with the 2A game. We'll have 3A and 4A this evening, 5 and 6 tomorrow. Tony Friedel right now. Number 3 for Tony.
Same play they ran before, just a real quick trap. And Tony's quick coming off the ball on that, and another touchdown.
Makes it 42-9, and we're getting very close to the 1A point record here. 47. That stood for almost 20 years. Terry Don Smith will take the kick, and this is good. So,
the record I don't want to see.
43-9. 6 minutes, 44 seconds to go, third quarter. Here's the touchdown again. Tony Friedel's third. Hardin Calhoun is sliding to a championship. Now there's 3 touchdown Tony Friedel. 43-9 the score. And Terry Don Smith, who's had a busy day kicking off and trying to keep the ball on the tee, will kick off to Velasquez and number 34, Ryan Fowler, who is back there now for Sterling Newman.
Good kick.
And Fowler picked up there by Davis, number 42. And Brian Davis brings the ball out. And again, the yard markers are anybody's guess right here, but it looks to be close to the 20, about the 22.
We'll start this drive at their own 22-yard line.
And the Hardin Calhoun defense, which so far has held Sterling Newman to 1 touchdown, and added another touchdown, 2 plays, just 15 yards following the bad snap fumble recovery. 44 seconds on the clock. Clock now at 6:36, third quarter. And Hardin Calhoun putting the coating on its 2nd straight 1A championship.
It's the worst nightmare of any coach.
But then again, we can't really say that yet. Remember what happened Buffalo and Houston.
That's
so
true.
Anything is possible.
The greatest dream come true to get to the state championship game, and then the worst nightmare to have a blowout in it.
Fitzgerald looking, broken up by Pat Friedel. Intended for Tom Grennan.
Good coverage right here. He gets the ball up. Just a good play by the defensive back. Again, what we had mentioned, Mike had mentioned earlier, you're on the crown and you're throwing down, which means you're higher. The balls have a tendency to be overthrown when the receivers are going down and away from the middle of the field.
Miller, the lone setback. 3 receivers right, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Again, Fitzgerald, and this time he's got his man. And this is McDonald. And Matt McDonald, well thrown ball there. And he's out well to first down yardage.
Obviously, there's not much to put in play action fakes here, and so we're just throwing the ball. Fitzgerald makes a nice catch, turning back. A nice throw by Fitzgerald to McDonald. He's been the workhorse with the ball.
Escherman here to the short side, split right. 1st and 10, a 15-yard pickup here. Again, the one backfield, and there's the back out of the backfield. David Miller. And you had to think that Miller could deliver a much bigger hit and get some more yardage if he could have gotten something under his feet right there, because that was a well-designed play.
It really is, and he's going back against the flow. They had trips to one side, and the fullback's just going back against the flow here, but he just really can't make any cuts.
Stelbrink on the tackle. Gain of 5 yards. Ball out to the 43. 2nd down, and again, the 3 receivers right. Pitch to Miller. Nice cut back. Miller, excellent run. Longnecker brings him down as he crosses the 50 to the Hardin Calhoun 45. And there you see how good David Miller really is. A 12-yard pickup, but boy, that took an awful lot to do.
It's amazing that he was able to cut back right there, but good job of getting those shoulders upfield. And you can see right here what a nice job Mike Miller, number 77, does of holding up and not clipping on that particular play, and allows his brother David to pick up the first down.
1st and 10 from the Hardin Calhoun 45. The Comets give it straight away again to Miller. Gain of 2. Met by the middle of that Hardin Calhoun line, led by 215-pound, 6'3" Brad Rose. Started this game last year. One of 5 Warriors who started the championship game a year ago is in the lineup today. There's Mike Piposi. He was here a few years ago and won. As we told you, 6-3 overtime game over Bloomington Central. Again, McDonald to the 41, and again Brad Rose and Aaron Elmore meeting him. Boy, Matt McDonald couldn't even play in the semifinal. So badly injured. They didn't know until yesterday whether or not he'd play today, and play he has.
Well, he's such a key element to this offense and to this team in general. He's just kind of a spiritual leader also.
3rd and 6 here from the 41. Blitz is on, and incomplete, intended over the middle for McDonald, and Longnecker decked him. Brings up a 4th down.
Could have very easily gotten a flag on that, since that ball was nowhere near the receiver, and he still gave him a shot. Good pressure. We had a stun on there by Tony Friedel coming from the outside linebacker spot. You can see right there, Longnecker sticking his neck in there.
And obviously trailing 43-6 on 4th down. Sterling Newman's going to go for it here. Again, 3 receivers to the short side. Looking across, complete to Escherman, but he's going to be short. He's at least a yard short as he slanted in from the right side. First down saving tackle made by Nate Lorton. There he is. Another big play by Nate, if you can call any play right now in a 34-point ball game. A big play.
Trying to get a slant route underneath to pick up that short first down, but a nice defensive play, and they come up about 2 yards short.
So Hardin Calhoun goes back to work with the big lead. .325 to go, 3rd quarter. Longnecker and Tony Friedel wrapped up.
And that's the same
David
play.
Miller.
Same play he scored 2 of his touchdowns on, and he didn't get it on that one.
David Miller wrapped him up behind the line. Woof.
You can see right there that Aaron Elmore was trying to trap, but Dave Miller was firing on the linebacker stunt and made a big play right there.
2nd and 12. Two receivers to the right. And the pitch to Pat Friedel. And Pat Friedel has the ball loose at the 40. Chris Heminger in there making the hit. Let's see what the call is here. We got a good look at the circular cleats there, but let's see what it remains Hardin Calhoun ball, and the clock winds with 2:30 to go.
You can see right here he's trying to get outside that stalk block, and there's the ball right now bouncing around.
Good play by Heminger to knock the ball away. And a good play by Hardin Calhoun to recover it. So now we're 3rd and 6 here. And this is the conventional wishbone set for Hardin Calhoun. And this is Longnecker, and Casey's got the first down and more. Casey Longnecker's got thrown to beat, and we get a whistle. Let's see what's going on. They say he probably stepped out of bounds. Mike Cobberman made the stop, knocked him out, but let's take a look here because Longnecker almost broke this.
You can see it's just a short counter trap because he faked it a fullback, but he had a guard pulling, and it's actually a play designed for the quarterback. The guard kicks out, the quarterback goes underneath, and from our angle it was tough to see that he stepped out of bounds over there, but a nice football play.
Well, you also saw Nate Lorton, number 3, and it looks to be a clip, a block in the back on the way down. We had a good look at it on the replay, Jack, and that's what the officials, I believe, are discussing right now. Let's check in with John Ortworth. This is coming back.
See, his helmet is behind right there, and there's your clip. Nice call by the officials. Good effort by Nate Lorton to get downfield, but he got his head in behind him.
So instead of a big gainer, this will come back. And it's 3rd and 5 as it comes back from the spot of the foul. Ryan Becker, who scored on the opening kickoff return, loses the handle but gets the good bounce.
We're getting a lot of good bounces.
It's Stump made the play. Becker took the handoff, and that's the first time he'd been in a while. And that ball hit the ground quickly, like apples falling off a tree. Watch this.
Right here, just a counter trap, and there's the ball on the ground. But as it's going for Calhoun today, the ball came right back to him.
Well, the only problem Calhoun has had has been with the punting game. And now at 4th and 3, they're going to go on 4th down inside their own territory. And that's a good reason why. An excellent call. We were wondering why they wouldn't punt, so they get the encroachment, and they will have a 1st down.
Well, they know when it's under 5 yards, you're not going to lose anything by getting a delay of game. So when it's less than 5 yards, if they jump offside, you got a 1st down, and that's why I put the ball. Now, they might have shifted in the punt, but you can see right here, it's 4th and 3 or 4th and 4. They pick it up.
Matt McDonald jumping off sides. And Sterling Newman only 15 yards in penalties, a lot more for Hardin Calhoun, but certainly isn't indicative of the way this game has been going. Coming up to the final minute here in the 3rd quarter, it's all Hardin Calhoun, 43-9. Longnecker again. Gets to the 45 of Sterling Newman. Matt Hoffmiller makes the stop.
Part of the reason for such a nice play for the quarterback is they are so conscious right now of Tony Frieder going up inside that they're staying, those linebackers are staying with the fullback fake, which is allowing that quarterback to get outside a little bit.
Final 30 seconds here of the 3rd quarter. And Hardin Calhoun taking its time. I'll get one more play off, and boy, here it is again. Tony Friedel almost broke another one. 35-yard line. Mike Cobyman makes the stop along with Casey Thome. It has been a busy day for the Sterling Newman secondary.
He's quite a load to bring down at 6'1", 215 pounds. And it's just the dive right here. He gets in behind that wall of blockers, and he's doing a nice job of keeping those shoulders square to the goal line.
And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Rick Johns and Hardin Calhoun leading Sterling Newman 43-9. We'll be right back. Well, that tells the story in 2 stages. The score and the weather outside may be frightful, but not if you are from Hardin, Illinois. Now the Sterling Newman cheerleaders still keeping up that enthusiasm as we begin the 4th quarter. And moving right along, Hardin Calhoun with Nate Lorton.
Nate hasn't had much of an opportunity after being one of the workhorses all year with 138 carries and 1,400 yards. 14 touchdowns coming into the ball game. It's been all Tony Friedel most of the ball game.
Friedel so far 13 carries, 125 yards, and the 3 touchdowns. He has come within 4 yards of the same rushing yardage as the entire Sterling Newman team. 2nd and 5. And there he is again. And there he goes again. One man to beat. And Mike Cobyman makes the play. Cobyman makes the play. Just inside the 10-yard line that Tony Friedel had number 4. We'd have to start looking up some more records.
You know, after our pregame show, and we talked about it's a game of fullbacks, and it certainly has been. There's just the inside trap, and Tony Friedel owes a lot there to number 72, Aaron Elmore, making a nice trap block. But it's been a game of fullbacks, more so for Calhoun than for Newman today.
10th play of the drive coming up here on the 8-yard line, 1st and goal. And this time it's Nate Lorton, and Lorton across the 5. Well, you can see some green patches now. Earlier, this field was covered with about 3 inches of snow with a layer of ice underneath. So after they got the snow off, the ice was still there. And there it is, the old salt truck. You see it on your streets, now you see it on the field. And I don't know how effective that's been, but they gave it the old high school try right here. Now the sun is shining brightly. Lights are still on. Maybe they'll help melt the field. 2nd down and goal on the 5. Nate Lorton again, and he gets nothing.
I think we're in a situation now where Rick Johns is trying to get Nate Lorton a score in this ball game after Tony Friedel's had 3 big touchdowns, and of course Nate's been a workhorse all year, so I'm sure Rick Johns is trying to reward him with a touchdown in the state championship game.
Well, and Tony Friedel's got to go some to break the touchdown record for a single game. It is 7. Chris Moore at East St. Louis did that back a few years ago in the 6A game. And again, straight up. Making the stop on Tony Friedel is Chris Heminger, and we've got a 4th down situation and goal from the 4. Ryan Becker comes in, number 42, and there's Tony Friedel. Clock is running, 9:19 to go, 4th quarter. It's Terry Don Smith splitting to the right on 4th and goal. Friedel, the setback. The wingback is Becker in motion. And he takes the pitch, and he's touchdown. Ryan Becker saving a season for him, too. His 2nd touchdown. One on the opening kickoff return that set the tone for this game, and now Ryan Becker on the sweep around the right side.
Just a fake right here to the fullback, pulls it out as he draws the defense to the fullback. And just a pitch right out here, and you can see the crackback block right here. He's got nice running room, and 6 more points for Hardin Calhoun.
Well, Ryan Becker started in this game last year, and Rick Johns looked to him to be a premier back, but he was hurt and never really regained his form, and has been essentially a part-time player and messenger, shuttling plays back in. Terry Don Smith with the kick, and it is no good. But Ryan Becker has had himself a season today, his 2nd touchdown, a new scoring record for the state championships. There's your story. Just over 9 minutes to go in this one, and Hardin Calhoun kicking off again to Velasquez and Fowler. It will be Fowler on his 10. And Fowler gets a decent return up across the 25 to the 30-yard line. Let's go down to Joe Passion.
Well, Mike, in response to your question a little while ago, just how is that salt truck helping out the turf here at Hancock Stadium? Well, if you look down here, you'll see how the turf is actually starting to break up. And you're seeing more turf, less ice. And I would imagine that that's going to be very good news for the 2A championship game between Carlinville and Coal City coming up in just a few moments, as the field is breaking up somewhat, and that should help the footing for both teams. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, thank you, Joe. David Miller with the clock at 8:35. You know, Jack, I was talking to some Sterling Newman people as well. I guess they're radio folks. And they said, yeah, the shoes are a problem, but they seem to feel that they have never come across a team with the size of Hardin Calhoun in their schedule. And Hardin's bigger this year than they were last year, and last year they were big.
Well, defensively, Calhoun averages 186 pounds, which really isn't too big, but it depends on where those pounds are located.
Right. This is McDonald. He is thrown back in the backfield by a host of white shirts. A new scoring record here, breaking one set in 1976 in the 1A game. Hampshire against Triopia.
There's a counter right there. Nobody's moving. You can see the linemen are just standing up waiting. Not getting much movement off the ball at all. Second man through. Having a tough time moving Calhoun off the ball.
Tom Brennan. And it's a punting situation. Jeff Garland will come in, number 82. Garland will kick it. Stelbrink in single safety. Back on his own 37-yard line. Good snap this time, and good shot with the wind, and Stelbrink's just going to let it sit.
Wise decision.
6 minutes, 48 seconds to go. Hardin Calhoun will be back in business again.
It's like a whole new offense going in.
And it will be. Let's see if we can set him for you. There's a good look at the Hardin Calhoun. At the Hardin Calhoun bench. Got a whole host of jerseys. Backup quarterback is Nathan Ray. He is a sophomore. And the give gets maybe a yard or two. McConnell making the stop. Brian Barrymore in there in the backfield. Clock is running, under 6 minutes to go. Here's a good look at one young fellow who's played his heart out today, Matt McDonald. And Ray pitches it to Brian Longnecker, who is Casey's younger brother. Brian, number 41, a sophomore fullback. Brian Davis making the stop on him.
See right here, he's coming down the line, and there's a man right on the pitch man right there as he gets the ball.
Also in there, number 7. And one of the backfield slots, Gus Wallendorf. Number 83, Josh Ziprick, splits out to the right. And a 3rd and 15. Down Ed Stump. Stopping the sophomore. Under 5 minutes to go.
Hunt team's coming out.
And Mike Piposi there. Has one championship and will not get another one today. But to get here, as we all say, without the cliche, is quite an achievement. The Hardin Calhoun folks who've made the 2.5 hour trip up. Now we got a few people to get. Punt team. Ryan Becker comes in and sets. And look out. Longnecker gets the kickoff.
Oh.
And again, a fumble by Bellini, and Hardin Calhoun is all over this one. And I do believe Longnecker kicked that one left-footed. If that replay is correct, what else can they do at Hardin today?
Well, this is really a situation where it's not much you can do about it. It's just not their day. Doesn't get himself underneath the ball, obviously, and the ball goes right off his fingertips. Good coverage by Calhoun, and now they have the ball on about the 46-yard line
of Sterling Newman. So here come the Warriors again. In motion is Becker, and Becker with flags flying. Stopped in the backfield by Matt McDonald, who's still in there. Bad leg and all.
We have a flag on the field.
Dan McHugh coming off, favoring his ankle. Tom Grennan comes in to replace him. We'll see what the flag is. Again, Tom Stocker and Bill Gorley will be here with the 2A game. We'll be back for the 3A matchup this afternoon at 4:30, followed by 4A.
Decline. Second down.
Sterling Newman obviously taking the loss of yardage and loss of down, so it'll be 2nd and 11. If you're just tuning in, it seems like a long time ago, but the tenor of this game was set on the opening kickoff, a 71-yard return by Ryan Becker. He is in there now. And once again, that's Davis crossing the line.
Looks like it must have been drawn off. No?
Well,
yeah, they're saying that they were drawn off, but it's hard for number 41. You know, from a coaching standpoint, how are you offside when the ball is right in front of you and it's not snapped?
well, the defense was in fact drawn off, so the officials marched the ball back 5 more yards into Hardin Calhoun territory. Pretty academic right now. They'll start the clock up again. That was Brody Rude, the nose tackle right there over the ball, number 41. And again, problem on the exchange. Ball was never snapped. And while they're sorting this out, remember, the Kohlers against the Cavaliers. Coal City against Carlinville coming up right after this game, the 2A championship. Tom Stocker and Bill Gorley. Of course, Joe Passion will be patrolling that warm sideline. Now we hope you enjoy that one. Again, our special thanks to our spotter from Sterling Newman today, John Shepard. He's hung in here. 3 minutes and counting down. And once again, we get a flag. And from the looks of things, it'll be an illegal shift again. Davis and Cobbyman make the stop.
That's what it is.
The illegal shift. Well,
you know, and this can't be like basketball where they say, well, just let the kids play or run the clock out. They've got to call these.
It's been declined. It'll be 3rd down.
You can see right there he's going in motion. Now he's a motion man, but the problem is there was movement prior to that. He's got to be set before the count. And the fullback was also moving a little bit prior to that, but that was a good camera angle there to see the feet. We've been doing a lot of foot shots today.
Right. It's the agony of defeat here for Sterling Newman. And once again, a problem on the exchange. And things are getting a little bit shoddy out there. To be honest with you, I'm surprised the number of fumbles and other turnovers wasn't greater. Because as poor as conditions are now, they were 5 times worse when we started this one. And again, this will go against Hardin Calhoun. Now Sterling Newman's got him marching backwards, but it's just about 46 minutes too late.
Well, I guess if there's a positive, there's an awful lot of kids getting an opportunity to play in the state championship game, and really that's what it's all about. Of course, the first part of it is you want to win it.
And for the 2nd year in a row, Calhoun High School of Hardin will do it. Now Rick Johns had an interesting trip through the playoffs. Close call, really, 20-14 in their opening rounder against Girard. Then a couple of big blowouts, 37-0 and 51-0 against Carthage and Auburn. And then that 7-6 squeaker by an extra point over Arcola to get them here. And today, it's a new 1A championship scoring record, 49 points. And once again, we get a whistle as Longnecker kicks it left-footed, which apparently he does well.
The official's time here. One of the receivers back there, I don't believe, had his mouthpiece in. Oh, it was his shoulder pad was not.
That's Ackman, Kyle Ackman, number 21.
The official
bottom of your picture, Velasquez at the top.
We had an official timeout prior to that.
Those officials are really under some tough situations here, weather condition-wise. Done a nice job.
Clock running, under 1.5 minutes to go, and now Longnecker will get this punt away from about his own 30.
My foot hurts just listening to him kick that.
Yeah. All right, let's go down to Joe Passion again. Joe.
Just to give an update on what the plans are for the stadium grounds crew, excuse my mouth is a little frozen down here, as you can imagine. What they're going to do is regards to the next steps in preparing the field for the 2A games and the other games that will follow today. They're really not going to salt it any further. They have no plans on plowing it any further. If they were to plow off the slush that's on here right now, the water that's below will come up and freeze and make it even worse. So they're going to let Mother Nature take over, and hopefully it'll get better and improve as the afternoon goes on. Back upstairs, guys.
All right, thank you, Joe. Of course, you got 2 pair of socks on. We hope that's what your mom told you to do now, right? Okay. He says 3 pair, all right. Brody Rude is in there at running back. Mike Cobbleman is the quarterback here as we tick down the final 45 seconds. Now, our producer director today, Bob Albrecht. Mark Brady, our graphics coordinator. Remote facilities provided by Trio Video of Chicago. Our executive producer at Sports Channel is John Toohey. And there's the situation in the final 30 seconds. Hardin Calhoun wrapping up its championship. Shannon Smith gets the call over there out of the backfield for Sterling Newman. And we may get one more playoff here. But for Hardin Calhoun, a tough year has been made just a little brighter by the achievements of a football team. There's Rick Johns. A town decimated by flood and tragedy can take some solace in the achievements of some of its young people, and there are supporters who have made that trip. Small consolation perhaps, yet there is something about the ability of a sports team to bind a village, bind a team, and that certainly has happened here at Hardin. That's the end of the ball game. The final score, the Class 1A championship. The defending champions, Hardin Calhoun Warriors, are now 2-time champions, 49-9 over the Comets of Sterling Newman. And when you think about a game like this, Jack, again, with all the tragedy that befell the area over the summer with the floods, there are several people in that football team, on the football team, the Lortons, as you heard on Joe's interview at halftime, still cannot live in their homes that were washed away, farmland washed away. And yet they played football.
Well, it was really a draw for the community to draw on the high school, which is really the focal point of the community. So it really was a big factor for them. And of course, them having a great year really did help the community and the morale.
There was talk of will we play football, but football was played, and everybody felt it was a positive thing, and certainly it could not have ended better for Hardin Calhoun. The 2A game is coming up. We'll take a break, and we'll be back. Congratulations to the new, well, actually, the defending 1A champion, Hardin Calhoun Warriors.
Individual team award. Making the presentation, Billy Embers of the Illinois High School Association. Board of Directors, Administrative Staff. Presenting the award to the
49-9, the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun, the champions of 1992, again take that trophy home with them in 1993. They end up the season 13-1. Last year they were 14-0, so it's been a pretty good run lately for Rick Johns. But first, Sterling Newman.
You know, you talk about the state championship game and memories. I can guarantee you they'll never forget this year, not only for the community, but the fact that they got down here and then the circumstances under which they had to play.
There's Mike Piposi. He's got a second place medal to go with the first place medal that his team achieved back a couple of years ago in 1990. And quite a group from that 1990 team, as a matter of fact. A couple of them have gone on to some outstanding careers in college. John Crick, who is now a tackle at Purdue, played on that team for Mike Piposi. Jeff Riney plays for Notre Dame now on the line. So that is quite a program out there in Sterling. They do the 815 area proud. A very difficult day to play football. Extremely cold temperatures mixed in with the snow and ice underneath. Doesn't matter to these fellas. There's an interesting look right there. Let's pull. And there is Tony Friedel. 3 touchdowns going up on the stand.
I would say he is a
trophy.
Mature young man.
Oh my. Well, we talked about the size of Hardin Calhoun. And Rick Johns and his team up at the stand now. There's Rick Johns. 13 years. He's had 2 wins and a second place.
Well, this was a real ball game for a fullback, and Tony Friedel really came through for him.
And now,
both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, as you said right at the beginning, Jack, it's a fullback day, and it certainly was. The first place trophy. And there are your champs, the Warriors of Hardin Calhoun.
Mr. Bradley, if you please.
It will be a very short ride back to Hardin this afternoon.
The awards presentation for the Class 1A championship game. The Illinois High School Association thanks you for joining your team here at Hancock Stadium and hopes you have enjoyed your visit.
Well, there's the awards presentation. There's the championship trophy. And the 1A championship for 1993 in rather unusual weather conditions is now history. We'll be back with a final wrap in just a minute. The tundra that is Hancock Stadium has been nothing but a brisk walk in the park for Hardin Calhoun. A record-setting performance, 49-9, a victory over the Comets of Sterling Newman. Jack, you said it right away. The conditions were straight ahead running, and that's exactly what happened from the opening kickoff on.
Well, it really was. The conditions were deplorable for a high school football game, but they made the most of it. It was a running back, fullback type of game, but the kickoff early was the whole difference.
Now, Ryan Becker taking that kickoff 70-plus yards back. Sterling Newman looked like they might have had a chance. They had the 1 touchdown drive, but right there they couldn't throw the ball. They had trouble holding on to the ball. And again, let's take a look at the opening kickoff. This really set the tone for the entire game.
Well, he got the ball. It didn't hit the ground like some of the kickoffs later on did, and he really didn't have to change direction too much except for right here. That was the big hit that bounced him free. And then it was just a matter of good traction and going right up the sideline and downhill from the hash mark to the sideline.
Well, Ryan Becker doing the job. He had 2 touchdowns today. Again, the issue can't be overplayed. The whole idea, this will go into the state record books, is one of those shoes games. The foot gear that Hardin Calhoun wore, those circular cleat arrangements, it's a new shoe that's only a couple of years old. Certainly helped them get traction. The flat-soled shoes that Sterling Newman wore, they left their others back at home. Boy, I wish, didn't they wish that they had some mom to run them all down to them this morning.
Well, it did make a difference, but 49 points you don't find entirely in the shoes. I think the traction did make a difference, but I really do think that it was the team more than the shoes in the long run.
No doubt about it. Tony Friedel, number 1, big kid, 200-plus pounder. He had himself a day, 3 touchdowns. Here's one.
Well, it's a great inside trap right here by Aaron Elmore, number 72, and he just turns it on. Notice he's not changing direction. He's got 215 pounds to hold him down onto that turf, and he made the most of it.
Well, you know, the interesting thing was, since this is a team that only passed for completions 11 times today, they still managed one pass for 52 yards and a touchdown. It was about a quarter of their entire passing yardage for a season. It was that kind of a day for Hardin Calhoun. Let's go down to Coach Rick Johns. He's with our Joe Passion.
Well, you guys have already talked about how this Hardin, Illinois team, Calhoun High School, has overcome some of Mother Nature's worst wrath earlier this season with the floods along the Mississippi River Valley, and I would imagine that did play in the emotional high of this team and the community, and coming out here today and overcoming Mother Nature once more.
Absolutely. You know, we've become a little bit used to adversity when it does come to weather, and it was obviously awful conditions out here. I was really surprised that our kids could execute as well as they did, but back to your original point, this is a great win for our community in light of everything that's happened, and you know, it's dedicated to them, and we're just real proud of our kids for holding up their end.
This is ironic, Rick, when we talked before the game and with Mike and Mac about the icy conditions of the field and just how the shoes would hold up, and I think the question can be answered here. It was the shoes. Those spikes really helped out, and it showed on that opening kickoff.
Yeah, the kids went and they elected to buy some Tennell turf shoes. Some guys had them from last year, and I tell you what, they really were a big difference today. We can't negate that. They did a fantastic job for us.
Keeping the kids on the sidelines, in and out of the game, and keeping them warm, not letting the weather get down them mentally. What was your approach on that? They didn't seem to hold back anything throughout the game. This was a very physical ball game, despite the ice slowing down players.
Yeah, we have big, strong kids who work out all summer, all winter in the weight room, and they're in condition to go the distance. We don't have as many guys going one way as Sterling Newman, and our kids, although they might have got a little tired, they certainly stayed warm.
Well, you got a second place trophy back in '87. Now back-to-back state championships. I hate to use the old cliche, it's already been used on t-shirts for the last several years in the NBA, but is there a three-peat in the offing for Hardin Calhoun?
Well, it'd be wonderful if there was, but I really kind of doubt it. We're going to be extremely young next year, and we're going to just work our tails off to get into the playoffs. And after that, we're going to be okay again, but I would really... We're not going to make our hotel reservations just yet.
All right. Again, congratulations, Rick, not only to you and your ball club, but to the entire community for putting up with a lot of adversity this year, and I guess this is one of the smaller rewards, but a great one nonetheless.
It makes it all the sweeter, Joe.
All right, Rick, congratulations, and back upstairs now to Mike and Mac.
All right, thank you very much, Joe and Coach. And again, we have a full day of football to come. 3 more games today, 2 more tomorrow. And we will have the Class 2A championship coming up in just a couple of minutes. Tom Stocker and Bill Gorley will be bringing that to you. A couple of closing thoughts here, Jack. You know, there is so much talent at Hardin, but you have to give those coaches credit to motivate these kids to play. All the problems that they dealt with, it all came together here for them, and you know they're going to remember this a lot longer than a lot of the floods.
Awful lot of memories in a game like today, not only just the weather, but the fact that they've been down here and what they've gone through this entire year. It's great for high school football, and it's great for those communities.